Good afternoon. Our next video is talking about triangle congruence. We've been talking about triangles, and we've been talking about things that are congruent, meaning they are the same shape and size. Remember that when you're taking your notes and you have this sheet of paper, you want to have a lot of color. So I have a highlighter, I have a green pen, I have a blue pen, and I have a pencil. As long as you have a pencil, you should have an eraser. See, there it is. Okay, so you want to make sure you have those things as we're going on today. And I'm going to move them to the side. So talking about triangle congruence is we're talking about triangles that are the same shape and size. Okay, and there are 5 different ways that you can be given pieces of information and determine or prove that they are congruent. The first way is called side, side, side. And side, side, side is a postulate. And a postulate is a thing that can be proven. The abbreviation for the postulate side, side, side is SSS. Okay? And in this middle box, we're going to write the side, side, side postulate. It says triangles are congruent if all, I'm going to capitalize all, 3 sides of one triangle are congruent to the 3 or to the corresponding, there's that word corresponding again, sides of the other triangle. I'm going to put my pen down. I'm going to get my highlighter because these 3 words right here, all 3 sides are very important. All 3 sides of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding or same sides of another triangle. So as I look at my picture over here, how would we draw that with our markings, congruent markings? The way that we're going to do it is we would make one mark there, and its corresponding side would have to be the same. So that mark shows that they are congruent. The second side would show that these 2 are congruent. 2 slashes, 2 slashes. These 2 sides are congruent. And then the third side, 1, 2, 3. This one is very, very straightforward. And it's going to look like that. These 2 sides are congruent. These 2 sides are congruent. And these 2 sides are congruent. Okay, that's pretty straightforward, and that's side, side, side. The next one that we're going to have is called side, angle, side. It's also a postulate, and its abbreviation is SAS, side, angle, side. This postulate starts off the same, and they all start off the same. Triangles are congruent. I'm going to start writing my math language. Triangles are congruent if any pair of corresponding sides and their included angle are equal, you could put congruent there as well, are equal in both triangles. Get my highlighter again. So any pair, I'm going to highlight any pair of corresponding sides and their included angle. That's the really, really important one, the included angle. So as I look at my picture over here, we can do a lot of different options, right? So I'm going to pick 2. I'm going to say, you know what? These 2 sides are congruent, and these 2 sides are congruent. And now what I need to do is I need to do the included angle. We have 1 angle, 2 angle, 3 angle. which one is the included angle? Well, the included angle is the one where the two line segments meet. So the included angle would be here and here. So if you have the congruency of side, angle, side, you can prove that these two triangles have 3 congruent angles and 3 congruent sides. Let's do some practice. If you look at your paper, you don't have the same marks that I do. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause your computer when I get down here, and I want you to make all of these marks on your paper. So pause the computer right now and make these marks. When you're done, we'll go over. Okay, so your paper should look like mine right now. And I'm going to go through and I am going to do a couple of them. Remember that you have side, 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 and side, angle, side in front of you, the definitions or the postulates. So you can look at and view them on your page as we're looking. So we're going to look at the first one. And it says state whether these pairs of triangles are congruent by SSS or SAS. If neither method works, write N. So I'm going to look at the first one and I'm going to say I have 3 sides. 1 pair of sides, 2 pair of sides, 3 pair of sides. So this is congruent by side, side, side. And that's all you have to do. The second one I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at number 2. And I'm going to see that I don't actually have 3 sides that are congruent, but I do have 2 sides. And I have another pair of sides right here. So I have at least side, side, and I have an angle. My question is this angle the included angle between the 2 pairs of sides that are congruent? And my conclusion is yes. This is the vertex, or this is the angle that is created by those 2 lines intersecting. So this one would be congruent by side, angle, side. Okay? I'm going to do number 3 right here. And I'm going to say, and I'm going to look and I'm going to go, you know what? I have 1 pair of congruent sides here. And I have a second pair of congruent sides here, but I do not have a 3rd pair of congruent sides because this one does not have a congruent marking. And if it doesn't have a congruent marking, you cannot prove that they are congruent. So this one would be an N, not congruent. Okay? The last one that I am going to look at, excuse me. I want you to make these markings on number 6. Just realized I didn't have them in there. Okay. The last one that I'm going to look at, what should I be? What should I pick? What should I pick? What should I pick? I'm going to pick number 8. And number 8, I see that I have a line here and a congruent line there. And I have a pair of congruent lines right here and here. But I don't have any angles, and I don't have a 3rd line, or do I? See this line right here, and I'm going to highlight it in orange. Is this line part of both triangles? It is. So if you remember that reflexive property, I'm going to write it in. Reflexive. That if this line is a shared line and is part of both triangles, it is congruent to itself. The way we can mark that is we can do 1, 2, 3 dash marks there because it's congruent to itself. And this one would actually be congruent by side, side, side. Okay, for your homework, I want you to do number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7, and bring them into class tomorrow. Have a great night.